What if I told you that the man who seems so independent, so distant, actually has a deep need for you that he can never express? Would you believe it? There's a truth about male psychology that few men admit, and it can completely transform the way you see your relationships. I know exactly how it feels to feel like you're always giving more than you get, always striving to be seen, to be valued. You wouldn't be the first woman to wonder if he really needs you, or if you're just convenient in his life. And no, the problem isn't that you're asking too much. One of the greatest scholars of human love discovered something revolutionary about male needs that changes everything. Men need women in a way that's so much deeper than they can ever admit. And until you know this, you'll continue to doubt your own worth in relationships. Your feminine energy is too sacred to waste on uncertainties. And today, you're going to discover why he needs you much more than you think. There's a man's silence that few women can truly understand. It's in those moments when he looks at you, but says nothing. When he seeks you out, but can't explain why. When he gets upset when you pull away, but won't admit he misses you. Psychology reveals something fascinating. Behind the mask of male independence lies an emotional need so profound that most men spend their entire lives trying to deny it. They learn early on that needing someone is a sign of weakness, that relying emotionally on a woman is something to be avoided. But here's the truth they can't quite put into words. A man without a woman who truly sees him becomes a fragmented being. It's not about sex, it's not about housework, it's not about convenience. It's about something far more primal and essential. The need to be recognized in his wholeness. Have you ever noticed how he changes when he's with you? How his posture softens, how his voice becomes gentler, how he allows you to see parts of himself that the world never does? That's not a coincidence. It's because in your presence, he can finally let down the guard he carries all day long. Feminine energy has the power to awaken aspects within a man that he didn't even know existed. Your intuition, your ability to feel beyond words, your way of embracing without judgment. All of this acts like a mirror where he can recognize himself as a complete human being, not just a function or a social role. But here's what you need to understand. His need doesn't make you responsible for healing or saving him. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you understand how much he needs your feminine energy, you stop begging for attention and start honoring your own worth. The most revealing discovery in the psychology of love is that men experience a form of loneliness they can rarely even put a name to. It's the loneliness of never being able to show vulnerability, of always having to be strong, of carrying the weight of expectations that separate them from their own humanity. And that's exactly where you come in. Your presence isn't just wanted. It's essential for him to connect with parts of himself that society has taught him to hide away. When he's with you, he doesn't have to prove anything. He doesn't have to perform masculinity. He doesn't have to carry the world on his shoulders. Notice how he behaves when you're together in silence, how he breathes differently, how his shoulders relax, how he allows you to touch him in a way that no one else can. These are signs of a need so profound that he himself can't fully understand it. Feminine energy acts as a gateway to masculine wholeness. Through your gaze that sees beyond the surface, your ability to feel what he can't express, your way of loving that embraces both his strength and his fragility, you become the bridge between who he is and who he can be. But here's what many women don't understand. This need doesn't mean you should shrink yourself to make him feel comfortable. Quite the opposite. A mature man needs a whole woman, not a watered-down version of who you are to fit his insecurities. The truth is, when you honor yourself, when you keep your own feminine energy strong and centered, you offer him exactly what he needs most. An encounter with someone who isn't afraid to be real. And that awakens in him the desire to be equally authentic. He needs your ability to see beauty where he only sees problems. Your intuition that complements his logic. Your way of loving that doesn't require him to be perfect to be worthy of affection. This isn't dependence. It's complementarity. There's a secret language spoken between men and women that goes far beyond words. It's the language of presence, of mutual recognition, the ancient dance between two souls who complete each other without erasing who they are. When a truly mature man meets a woman in her feminine essence, something ancient awakens within him. It's not just physical attraction or emotional connection. It's the deep knowing that she holds something he doesn't have and never will. The power to create life, to nurture, to transform raw energy into something beautiful and creative. And that's why he needs you in a way he can't quite put into words. Your feminine energy doesn't just complement him. It inspires him to become the best version of himself. In your presence, he doesn't just want to possess, he wants to protect, to honor, to create alongside you. But here's what you need to understand about this need. It only fully blossoms when you are connected to your own feminine power. A man can't recognize and cherish in you what you don't recognize in yourself. When you doubt your worth, when you shrink yourself to fit his limitations, when you compromise your essence to keep a relationship, you deprive him of the transformative experience of being with a whole woman. And that creates a frustration within him he can't quite name. Psychology teaches us that a man seeks not just companionship in a woman, but inspiration. He needs someone who challenges him to grow, who inspires him to be better, who invites him to expand beyond the limits he's placed on himself. That means when you stay true to your feminine essence, with all its complexity, depth, and mystery, you offer him a gift that goes beyond love. You offer him the opportunity to become a complete man. He may never say it with words, but he feels it in his body, in his soul, in the way his life unfolds differently when you are present. Your feminine energy isn't a bonus in his life, it's a fundamental need. Now, let's bring this down to earth. How does this masculine need show up in everyday life? How can you recognize that he needs you much more than he lets on? Notice how he behaves when you're not around. Does he reach out to you more often? Does he get more easily irritated or restless? Does he seek your opinion on important decisions? These are signs that your presence isn't just a nice-to-have in his life. It's fundamental. Pay attention to how he acts when you're together too. Does he relax in a way he doesn't with other people? Does he share worries he doesn't confide in anyone else? Does he seek your touch, your gaze, your approval in subtle ways? This reveals how much he depends on your energy to feel grounded. But here's the most important takeaway. Stop begging for recognition. When you truly understand that he needs you in a core way, you stop acting as though you're disposable. You stop overexerting yourself to prove your worth and simply start being it. This changes everything. Instead of chasing affection, you allow him to come to you. Instead of explaining why you deserve to be treated well, you simply don't accept being treated poorly. Instead of convincing him that you're important, you act from the knowledge that you are. Practice keeping your feminine energy centered and observe how it affects him. When you're connected to your own essence, calm, present, intuitive, he naturally feels drawn to you, not just physically, but energetically. And if he can't recognize or value this need he has for you, then that's important information about his level of emotional maturity. An immature man will fight against his own need for deep connection. A mature man will embrace it and honor it. But there's a shadow to this discovery that we need to face. That very need that can create deep connection can also twist into a toxic dependency if it isn't understood properly. Some men, realizing how much they need feminine energy, might try to control it instead of honoring it. They might become possessive, jealous, or manipulative, trying to make sure you're always there to meet their emotional needs. And this is where so many women get lost. They mistake this intense need for true love. They think that because he can't live without them, it means he loves them deeply. But there's a fundamental difference between needing someone to feel whole and loving someone in their entirety. Immature masculine emotional need can show itself as a hunger that's never satisfied. He might drain your feminine energy without ever giving back with genuine presence, true affection, or emotional reciprocity. Have you ever felt that? That feeling that you're always giving, always nurturing, always being his safe harbor. But when you need him, he's not available. That's not love, it's using your energy. The trouble is, so many of us have been taught to mistake being needed for being loved. We've been conditioned to believe that if he can't live without you, that means you're special. But the truth is, you can be absolutely essential in someone's life and still not be truly valued. The shadow of masculine need is that it can turn into emotional vampirism. He absorbs your light, your energy, your capacity to nurture, but offers nothing substantial in return. And you, thinking you're being loved, accept emotional crumbs because you mistake need for devotion. So how do we tell the difference between a healthy need and a toxic dependency? How can you know if he needs you in a way that honors your beautiful spirit or if he's just draining your energy? The answer lies in give and take. A man who needs you in a healthy way will give back with his presence, his attention, his care, and a genuine effort to be worthy of the energy you share. He won't just take, he'll give too. Watch to see if he invests in the relationship as much as you do. If he cares about your well-being as much as you care about his. If he sees you as a whole person with your own needs, not just his personal wellspring of comfort and support. A truly mature man understands that a woman's energy is a gift, not something he's entitled to. He'll treat your presence in his life as sacred, something to cherish and protect, not something to take for granted. And you, as a conscious woman, need to learn to offer your energy from a place of fullness, not from a place of need. When you're centered in yourself, connected to your own inner power, you can nurture a man without emptying yourself. The key is understanding that your feminine energy is far too precious to waste on someone who isn't capable of seeing its worth and giving back in kind. You're not here to fix broken men. You're here to dance with men who are already on their own healing journeys. Try this. Before you give yourself emotionally, ask yourself if he's offering something of comparable value. I'm not talking about keeping score, but about a genuine exchange of energy. Is he there when you need him? Does he respect your feelings? Does he invest in the growth of the relationship? If the answer is no, then he might need you, but he's not ready to love you the way you deserve. The shift happens when you realize your worth isn't tied to his need for you, but to your own completeness as a woman. You are valuable, regardless of whether he recognizes how much he needs your energy. When you ground yourself in that truth, something magical unfolds. You stop acting from a place of scarcity and begin to act from abundance. You offer your presence as a gift, not as a negotiation for love. And that awakens in a mature man the most beautiful thing about masculine need, the desire to be worthy of the woman you are. He starts striving not to get your energy, but to deserve to be the one who receives it. The woman who understands her own value stops accepting emotional breadcrumbs. She doesn't need to prove she's needed because she already knows it. And that inner certainty creates a magnetism that attracts men capable of true love and repels those who only know how to use. Your feminine energy, when honored by yourself, becomes irresistible to the right man. Not because you're trying to please him, but because you're being authentic. Not because you're offering yourself, but because you are fully present in your own life. And when you find a man who can recognize that need he has for you and reciprocate with the same intensity, you'll experience something rare. A love that expands, that grows, that nourishes both of you without draining either one. That's the love that's born when two whole people come together. Not from lack, but from abundance. Not from desperate need, but from a conscious desire to create something beautiful together. Now, a practice to weave this understanding into your everyday life. Find a quiet moment today and gently place your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, how can I honor my feminine energy today? Perhaps it's saying no to something that drains you. Maybe it's allowing yourself to receive affection without feeling you need to immediately repay it. Perhaps it's simply looking in the mirror and acknowledging the powerful woman that you are. Remember, you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your feminine energy is a rare gift in this world. Offer it only to those who have eyes to see its beauty and a heart to honor it. The truth about a man's needs isn't that you must shrink yourself to meet them, but that you should expand to inspire him. When you understand that a man needs you not to complete him, but to inspire him to be complete, everything changes. You stop begging for love and begin to radiate dignity. You stop trying to please and simply begin to be. And in that authentic being, you offer the world, and especially the right man, exactly what he needs most, the encounter with a woman who knows herself, respects herself, and loves herself. This is the quiet revolution of the feminine. Not fighting for a place, but gracefully occupying the place that is already yours by right. And when you do that, you'll discover that his need transforms into devotion, and the need of both of you becomes freedom.